Hello and welcome to the lectures on human anatomy and physiology. Myself, I am Dr. Jitendra from Vignan's Foundation for Science, Technology and Research. Today, we'll be discussing about various basic elements of human body. In the last class, we have seen that the body has various levels of organization, of which the smallest functional units are the cells. Various cells combine to form tissues and they have a particular function. Example, blood, bone, muscle are the tissues which have their own specific function, and various tissues are grouped together to form an organ. Example, heart, stomach and brain. In this way, these organs are once again grouped together to form a system. For example, stomach is a part of digestive system and small intestine also is a part of digestive system. So these two, they are involved in a specific function of digestive system, that is taking in of food, digesting, absorbing and eliminating the waste. In this way, the body has various levels of organization. In today's class, we will discuss about the body's smallest functional unit, that is cell. Human body develops from a single cell called as zygote, which results with the fusion of an egg and a sperm, which is followed by cell division, and later the fetus grows with different types of cells which have various structural and functional specializations with the same genetic makeup of that of zygote. The cell consists of plasma membrane enclosing a number of cell organelles suspended in a fluid called as cytosol. Organelles are smaller organs and they have highly individual and specialized functions, each once again surrounded by their own membranes. The organelles are nucleus, mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes and cytoskeleton. The cell contents excluding the nucleus is called as cytoplasm. So cytoplasm is cytosol along with other organelles and their functions. First, we will see about plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is the outermost covering of cell. It is made up of two layers of phospholipids with proteins and sugars embedded within them. In addition to phospholipid, plasma membrane also consists of the lipid cholesterol. The phospholipid molecule has a head and a tail. The head is oriented towards outside of the membrane and it is charged. It is generally hydrophilic in nature, whereas the tail, which is oriented towards the middle, is hydrophobic and does not consist of any charge. The phospholipid bilayer is arranged as a sandwich with the hydrophobic moieties oriented towards the middle and the hydrophilic moieties oriented towards the outside of the plasma membrane. Now let's see about membrane proteins. The proteins which are present on the plasma membrane are called as surface proteins, and these proteins are of two different types. They are either extrinsic proteins or intrinsic proteins. Those proteins which lie on the surface are called as extrinsic proteins, and those proteins which extend throughout the membrane are called as intrinsic proteins. These intrinsic proteins also may have channels which allow the movement of substances across them in the plasma membrane. The membrane proteins perform various functions, that they give attachment to the carbohydrate chains which give immunological identity to the cells. Apart from this, some proteins, they act as receptors for various hormones, whereas some proteins, they act as enzymes and mediate various metabolic reactions. Some proteins which have channels are filled with water and facilitate the movement of substances which are water soluble. Some proteins they act as pumps and are involved in transport of substances and transport of ions across the membrane. Plasma membrane regulates what moves into and out of the cell. It is composed of phospholipid molecules and protein molecules throughout. The phospholipid molecules have a polar hydrophilic water-loving head and two non-polar hydrophobic tails. The hydrophobic heads are oriented towards inwards and the hydrophilic heads are faced outwards, forming a bilayer as it is seen here. The inner part of the cell has a cytosol and the outer part of the cell is surrounded by interstitial fluid. Next we will see about various cell organelles. First we will discuss about nucleus. So nucleus is the largest organelle of the cell and it consists of the genetic material in the form of DNA. Almost all the cells in the body consist of nucleus and the only exception is red blood cells which are matured, as matured red blood cells does not consist of nucleus. All the cells consist of one nucleus except skeletal muscle fibers which consists of multiple nuclei. Nucleus is contained within an envelope called as nuclear envelope or nuclear membrane, which is similar to that of plasma membrane, but this has many pores which allows the movement of substances between the nucleus and cytoplasm. The genetic material present in the DNA, it directs the metabolic activities of all the organelles of the cell. In a non-dividing cell, the DNA is organized into fine threads called as chromatin, whereas in a cell that prepares to divide, this chromatin is organized into chromosomes. A nucleus also consists of various types of RNA. Within the nucleus, there is a roughly spherical structure called as nucleolus, which is involved in the synthesis and assembly of various components of ribosomes. We have seen that nucleus is the major cell organelle, and this nucleus is located in the center of the cell. This plays a major role in regulating the functions of all the other organelles. Let's see how it does. The nucleus contains the genetic material. When we see inside the nucleus, it consists of various chromatin threads. These chromatin threads are arranged in a zigzag way when the cell is in resting state, whereas these chromatin threads are organized into a definite structures called as chromosomes during the time of cell division. And these chromosomes consist of various functional units called as genes. These genes are made up of DNA or deoxyribonucleic acids. When you see, the DNA forms the genes and the genes form the component of chromosome, and this chromosome appears during the time of cell division, whereas in a resting state the chromosomes appears as chromatin threads. It means chromatin threads and chromosomes are equal. The chromosomes are locked
within the nucleus. And this nucleus, it regulates the functions of all the other organelles by various proteins. The genes in a chromosome code for a specific protein, and the functions of these proteins are passing the information to organelles, communicating with the organelles, and they form the building structures. The nucleus also consists of a nuclear membrane, and this has nucleoplasm within it. The nuclear membrane is similar to cell membrane, but it has various pores through which the substances can move in and out of the membrane.
Now let's see about the other important organelle of the cell, that is mitochondria. Mitochondria is a membranous sausage-shaped structure which is present in the cell, and this is also called as powerhouse of the cell because it is involved in synthesis of chemical energy. It is very essential for aerobic respiration, a process by which chemical energy in the form of ATP is made available to the cells. Synthesis of ATP is more efficient in the final stages of aerobic respiration, and these mitochondria are abundantly seen in those cells which are most active. Example, liver, muscle, and spermatozoa.
Food contains energy, but it is not in its usable form. The cell organelle called mitochondria convert this energy molecules to usable molecules called ATP or adenosine triphosphate. These are the usable forms of energy. Cells can obtain energy when these ATP molecules are broken. Hence, it is called powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria has two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. The outer membrane is porous and allows transport of substances. Inner membrane is folded, called as cristae, and has large surface area, so that large number of molecules can be converted into ATP by the enzymes present in the matrix, and this large surface area accommodates large number of enzymes, which leads to production of more amount of ATP. Mitochondria has its own DNA and ribosomes, so that they can make its own proteins and replicates on its own.
Now we will see the other cell organelles called as ribosomes. Ribosomes are tiny granules which are present within the cytoplasm, and few ribosomes also are present on the nuclear envelope and the endoplasmic reticulum. Ribosomes consist of RNA and proteins. These are involved in synthesis of various proteins which are essential for the cellular functions. These ribosomes, which are present freely in the cytoplasm or in which exist as small clusters, are involved in synthesis of proteins which are utilized by the cells, whereas those ribosomes which are present on the nuclear envelope and on the endoplasmic reticulum are generally meant for the synthesis of proteins that are to be exported from the cell.
And the average mammalian cell has about 10 million ribosomes. They are made of RNA and protein, and their function in the cell is to read RNA and synthesize protein. Very meta. Ribosomes have two major subunits, simply called the large and small subunits. Both subunits contain protein and RNA. The RNA in ribosomes is called, not surprisingly, ribosomal RNA, or rRNA for short. In eukaryotic cells, ribosomes are synthesized in the nucleolus of the nucleus. The location of ribosomes in the cell determines where the proteins they make end up. Ribosomes freely floating in the cytoplasm of the cell synthesize proteins to be used within the cell, while ribosomes bound to the rough endoplasmic reticulum synthesize proteins that will end up outside the cell, either bound to the cell membrane or released from the cell as a signaling protein, for example. Ribosomes synthesize protein in a process called translation, where they read strands of mRNA and bring the right amino acids together to build a long polypeptide chain that will eventually become a functioning protein.
The other cell organelle is endoplasmic reticulum. It is an extensive series of interconnected membranous canals which are present in the cytoplasm, and this endoplasmic reticulum, it exists in two different forms: the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is involved in synthesis of lipids and hormones such as steroid hormones, and these are also involved in detoxification of drugs. The rough endoplasmic reticulum consists of various ribosomes on their surface, and these are generally involved in synthesis of proteins which are meant to be exported from the cells by exocytosis.
Endoplasmic reticulum is necessary for manufacturing of proteins, whereas Golgi apparatus is involved in packaging and transporting of these proteins. Endoplasmic reticulum, it appears as a tube present on all sides of the nucleus. There are two different types of endoplasmic reticulum. The one which are attached to the nucleus are the rough endoplasmic reticulum, whereas those which are apart are the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. There are some granules which are present on the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which gives a rough appearance, and these are called as ribosomes, whereas these granules are absent on the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The main function of endoplasmic reticulum: let's see now. Ribosomes are the sites of protein synthesis, and since a rough endoplasmic reticulum has many ribosomes, it is also the site for protein synthesis. Ribosomes synthesize the proteins as a elongated chains, whereas these protein chains formed by the ribosomes are folded into a definite shape by the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The proteins and lipids, they pass through these tubes of endoplasmic reticulum and attain their shape. The smooth endoplasmic reticulum is involved in synthesis of fat molecules, proteins and lipids. Some proteins and lipids in the cell act as enzymes and hormones. The proteins and lipids, especially lipids, are also essential for the synthesis of cell membrane, and this is called as membrane biogenesis. The functions of smooth endoplasmic reticulum are manufacturing of fat molecules, synthesizing proteins and fats that act as enzymes or hormones, detoxifying cells, and synthesizing lipid molecules which participate in the membrane.
The other cell organelle is Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus consists of many closely folded membranous sacs. So these are present in all the cells, and they are abundantly present in those cells which synthesize and export proteins. The main function of Golgi apparatus is it receives the proteins which are synthesized by the ribosomes and the endoplasmic reticulum. These are present in all the cells but are abundantly present in those cells that synthesize and export proteins. The proteins which are synthesized by the endoplasmic reticulum move to the Golgi apparatus, where they are packed into membrane bound vesicles and stored. And these vesicles move to the plasma membrane, fuse with it, and release the proteins by exocytosis.
We have seen that endoplasmic reticulum is involved in the manufacturing of proteins, whereas Golgi apparatus is involved in packaging and transporting these materials. Golgi apparatus is also termed as the modifying and packaging unit of cell, and it is named after the scientist Camillo Golgi, whose studies are mainly on the Golgi apparatus. This organelle has parallelly arranged sacs called cisternae, and they are in association with the endoplasmic reticulum. Because the protein molecules synthesized in the endoplasmic reticulum enter into the cisternae, where they undergo necessary modifications and are packed into vesicles. These vesicles with proteins are stored in the Golgi apparatus, and they are released into the cytoplasm when required, and these vesicles will leave the cell through exocytosis. So in this way, Golgi apparatus is involved in modification and transportation of proteins which are synthesized in the endoplasmic.
The other organelles in the cell are lysosomes. Lysosomes are small membrane bound vesicles which consist of various proteins. So these proteins are generally enzymes which are involved in breaking down of various cell organelles and large molecules such as DNA, RNA, carbohydrates into smaller molecules or fragments which are either recycled or removed from the cells. Lysosomes present in white blood cells, they consist of enzymes which digest foreign substances such as microbes.
Lysosomes are membrane bound organelles. They are spherical sac-like structures which are filled with digestive enzymes. Generally, those cell organelles which are damaged or any foreign bacteria which enters into the cell are to be removed from the cell, and lysosomes take the role of a removal of any damaged organelles or those bacteria which are ingested into the cell. Lysosomes consists of various enzymes which are nothing but proteins synthesized from the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and these enzymes are generally hydrolytic enzymes, and these enzymes are necessary for the breakdown of complex substances into simpler substances. Whenever a cell organelle or a bacteria has to be removed, the lysosomes will imbibe them and digest those things, and these lysosomes will be activated only in such cases. This is like an waste disposal system of the cell, which helps to clean the cell by digesting the foreign material and worn out cells. Foreign materials generally like bacteria, virus will be eliminated from the cell. These lysosomes also act as suicide bags if at all the cell is not able to be controlled for it.
The next important organelle of the cells are cytoskeleton. It consists of many tiny protein fibers which can be categorized as microfilaments or microtubules. Microfilaments are the smallest fibers and they provide structural support to the cell. So they are also involved in maintaining the shape of the cell and also permit contraction. Whereas microtubules are larger proteins and these are involved in movement of cell organelles, chromosomes and cell extensions. Centrosome is a structure which appears during the time of cell division, and it consists of a pair of centrioles which are involved in organization of microtubules within the cell. Cell extensions project from the plasma membrane of few cells, and these consist of various microtubules which facilitate their movement. Examples are cilia, microvilli and flagella. Microvilli are tiny projections that consist of microfilaments and which can be seen on the lining of intestinal mucosa, and their function is to increase the surface area of absorption. Cilia are microscopic hair-like projections which consist of microtubules, and these are present on the free border of the cell membrane, and they have a characteristic unison movement, that is one-sided movement of the substances on the surface. Example, upward movement of mucus in the respiratory tract. Flagella, it is a long single whip-like projection which facilitates the movement of sperm, and these are various cell organelles. In this class, we have discussed about the cell, its structure and functions. Under the structure of the cell, we have studied about the plasma membrane and various cell organelles. Thank you.